kura. Akili yote iliweka Uhuru kwa kiti iko hapa. Ile iko Azimio ni mwili peke yake.
Well, controversial is one way to describe that statement made by Moses Kuria earlier today at the UDA NDC, and would have loved to have him here to shed further light on this, but he seems to not be joining us this evening on Newsnight. We are, however, joined by David Murathe, who's the Jubilee Vice Chair and is live with us in studio this evening. Bwana Murathe, thank you so much for joining us and for finding time.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Let me immediately start before we talk about the empty chair that would have been Moses Kuria this evening, and he seems that he will not be here with us. But let me get an immediate reaction to that comment there by Moses Kuria earlier today. It's not the first time we've had it. Sabina Chege also seemingly made a similar comment on the campaign trail. What do you know about these allegations that keep coming up, that there was rigging by Jubilee in previous elections?
It's very sad. Coming from the person of somebody like Moses Kuria, we expect the IEBC should call him in the same way they called in Sabina Chege. The difference this time is that Sabina Chege said it in jest.
That was your reading of it?
It was quite clearly in jest. And he never talked about rigging. He actually meant how we organize ourselves, kumina, getting people out, even sick people from hospitals, old grandmothers. That is what she was contributing to the Azimio Raila campaign. But with Moses, he's actually telling the country and the UDA candidate, William Ruto, you see here, are the ones who do the rigging. And I'm not surprised. Incidentally, when Moses got into parliament, he went in through a by-election following the death of the late Ngugi, who was elected in 2013. Moses went through a nomination process of TNA. One of the stations that Moses participated in, he garnered 4,000 votes in a station which has 800 votes. Ridiculous, madness. So this is something I think they're used to.
Did you present evidence of this?
Yes, we have evidence. We are Jubilee, we are TNA. We were very, very upset. And we asked Sakaja. Sakaja then was the chairman, and Olo was the secretary general. He said, even rigging requires some intelligence. How do you give somebody 4,000 votes in a polling station which has 800? And you know the IBC, actually the maximum you can get in any polling station is 800. And we said, okay, bygones be bygones. Now it's like they're taking the same bad habits to the deputy president's campaign. And you know, I was really excited to engage Moses this evening. You know, he chickened out. And you know why he chickened out?
I don't know why.
No, because he knew some of the issues we were going to bring out tonight to expose the so-called wave which they are creating around the mountain. Moses is a MP for the president. He is leading the team which is going around insulting the president. And we keep saying to them, look, nobody has ever insulted Raila Odinga in his backyard in Luo Nyanza. Nobody has ever insulted William Ruto in his Rift Valley backyard. Nobody has ever insulted Kalonzo Musyoka or Musalia Mudavadi for that matter in their own backyards. At least, even if you have an issue with the person of President Uhuru Kenyatta, at least you can respect the institution, the office of the president. Coming from his own backyard, coming from his own MP, it's very painful.
Okay.
Very, very painful.
And we're coming to that shortly, but we still haven't finished with these allegations of vote rigging. You say that Sabina Chege was saying it's about organizing it. I want to read you her exact words. This is what she said. I have heard others saying we rigged. There is some truth in it. So if we manage to rig even this one, we can. They think they are the smartest. Sabina Chege said those things. The footage is out there.
Clear.
Moses Kuria then says that today.
No.
David Murathe, what are Kenyans
Sabina, you
to
are
think
dealing
of that?
with a hypothetical situation. She said.
There's nothing hypothetical
No,
about
she said,
this.
I have heard others say that we rigged. And if that is the case, which is a hypothetical part,
So if we manage to rig,
we can do this one. It means they're afraid of us, those who are saying that. This one was specific. Moses specifically saying the people who rig are here. And he has some explanation to give to the IEBC about how they rigged. And he said those ones who are not here were not part of the rigging. So he should go to the IEBC together with the ones he called them out by name, and he explained how they rigged. Because we are not aware of any rigging that took place. We executed a fantastic campaign in 2017. We came out with 54%, ODM had 46%.
So this is where it gets confusing. If Moses Kuria is telling the truth, the members you have mentioned were in Jubilee. So if IBC proves that you're telling the truth, what does that tell us about Jubilee? Because you're demanding that Moses go to, be summoned by the IBC.
My friend, Ruto was a co-candidate on the Jubilee ticket. It actually means that even Ruto being in office was a product of the so-called rigging. And that therefore, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. And by the way, if the IBC establishes that there was rigging, which should have actually been handled by the courts, even including in the petitions, those are crimes for which people should be prosecuted. We are very, very clear there was no rigging as far as we are concerned. But if he has any evidence that we rigged or that they rigged or that there was rigging, he should be in jail.
Okay, that is your view on that. Of course, you have to go through a particular process. But even as we carry on with that, you have raised concerns about statements made against the president in his back wave. But some Kenyans are asking this evening, when you see the likes of William Kabogo, when you see Senator Kimani Wamatangi, when you see Moses Kuria aligning with the deputy president, we saw it over the weekend. We've seen something as well today at the NDC. What does that tell you?
We don't engage aspirants or competitors in political dynamics and demographics. We deal directly with the people on the ground. These things are for optics. These people are trying to create a wave, not necessarily for Mount Kenya, but for the rest of the country, so that they can confuse the rest of the country, particularly their own backyards of the Rift Valley and such, that look, Mount Kenya is with us. If Mount Kenya is with us, then you either join us or you are out of government. These are optics, which are very clever, I must say. But let me tell you what is so sad about some of those calculations. If you have 6 candidates who are all in the UDA aspirant list, only one of them will get the ticket, correct? So you have Babayao, you have Kabogo, you have Ndicho, you have Wamatangi, you have Django, you have Moses himself. Only one of them will take the ticket, correct? So I don't know what is going to happen to the others after the nominations. It's so sickening when somebody like Kabogo, who has maintained, even in this station and your sister in Oro stations, how he was rigged out in the nomination of 2017 by William Samoei Ruto. And you can retrieve those tapes. When we see him jumping up and down like a small boy in Thika on Saturday. But you see, for Ruto, it's a very clever move. Because if Kambogo runs on his Jibebe, if Moses runs on Chama, Chakazi, if Django runs on his party, and if Ndicho gets an independent and Waitito, etc., and you have one candidate on UDA, which is Django. When all of these people are campaigning for themselves to become governor, the turnout, and they're all saying at the top, it's Ruto. The turnout for Ruto will be fantastic. And
that doesn't worry you? That, to you, that's not that there's a problem at home, so to speak?
We did that thing perfectly in 2017, where we even sponsored parties in northern Kenya, all running on different platforms. We had Jubilee candidates, EFF candidates, we had PDR, we had all those parties. all competing among themselves, but at the top, they were all voting for Uhuru. So that is a voter turnout strategy, and it is very smart for William Ruto. But you see, as far as we are concerned, Raila Amolo Odinga, at almost 50-50 with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Remember in 2013, we scraped through the 50+1 with like 80,000 votes, all right? Meaning, and Raila never got Mount Kenya votes. Meaning this time around, worst case scenario, Raila gets Mount Kenya votes, whether 10, 20, 30, 40%. That is votes he never had anyway. But the rest of his vote basket is intact. The only area which they thought they could remove, which is Western, Raila actually defeats Musalia, even in Western. Musalia's own governor is ODM, and he had run an ANC governor. His own MCA, ODM.
And what you're saying in a nutshell is whatever happens in Mount Kenya, to you, the Azimio has the front.
In fact, for Mount Kenya, and this is a message to Mount Kenya, Raila is winning this election. They better decide whether he's winning it with them on board or he's winning it without them on board. Well, because if Raila wins it without them on board, they know they will be consigned to the dustbin. And probably this is the strategy of the deputy president, because his job is basically to isolate and alienate Mount Kenya from the rest of the country.
David Murathe, some would say you're being rather presumptuous this evening. The voters finally will have the final say. It's 3 months to the election. You sound like
I told you we will go directly to the people. I told you we are going directly to the people, and we are appealing to the people. We will be talking to the people. The president himself has stuck out his neck, telling the people he thinks he knows what is good for them. The president has a democratic right to choose who he wants. He wants to explain to the people. He did it in Sagana 2 or Sagana 3. And we are telling the people of Mount Kenya, with or without your vote, because you have never given Raila anyway, under the current circumstances, he's going to be president. Because you can be sure Raila is going to get some votes in Mount Kenya region this time around. It's as simple as that. I'm not being presumptuous. And by the way, you know the attrition rate in Mount Kenya. In Mount Kenya, the attrition rate of sitting candidates is 70 to 80%. Last time, all the governors went home in Mount Kenya, with the exception of Mwangi wa Iria. You know, it's a fact. MPs, like, I think there was 1 or 2 who survived, Kaninikega in Nyeri, and who else? I can't even remember who else survived in the region. Let me tell you, this is a slaughter. And in fact, we are glad that we are not going to carry that baggage of the sitting MPs, because most of them will go home anyway.
I think they have a lot to say in regards to that. But
that's up to them, but that is the reality. You go and check the results of the last 5 elections. Tell me the attrition rate of members of parliament in Mount Kenya region. Okay. We have had 2 elections for governors. Tell me the attrition rate of governors in Mount Kenya. Again, we say history teaches us a lot, but finally the voters will have their say. Why do you think Moses Kuria did not join you this evening? He chickened out. On what? I would really have loved to engage Moses on principle. For example. What do you know that he would... No. Moses doesn't like engaging in an intellectual conversation. I saw in his tweet talking about he's happy to come and deal with the leaders of his level who are party leaders. Like he wants to debate Uhuru Kenyatta, or he wants to debate Raila Odinga, or Kalonzo Musyoka, that kind of nonsense. Let me tell you, my friend, Moses has so many skeletons in his closet, and if he was here, I would do it. Fortunately for him, I can't do that when he's not on this show, because I would have wanted to... You don't give him a chance to have a right of reply. To rebut. And you cannot talk about somebody who knows that. But very briefly, these people keep telling you about how they love God. In fact, if you checked, the whole choreography today was about how they are God and God-fearing. One of the most tragic things that happened in 2007 was the burning of the Kiambaa church. Moses was dispatched by His Excellency the President to go and put up a monument in memory of those who were burnt in that church. These people have traversed the whole country doing harambes for churches. Moses has never asked Ruto, his friend, to even go to that same Kiambaa church where he installed the memorial to do a harambe or even reconstruct the church, which they burnt, which formed part of the issues that took them to The Hague.
I think there's no proof of who burnt that, so I think that
it was part of the case against the deputy president at The Hague. It is recorded.
Which he was not proven guilty of at the very end of it. So again, it's the courts finally that determine who's guilty and who is not.
I'm just telling you,
David Murathe.
These formed the basis of the case against the deputy president at The Hague. There were witnesses who were willing to testify. There is a case going on right now about witness interference. There are witnesses who, you know what happened.
And we're going to have to wait until the court, on that matter, we'll leave the court.
I agree.
Make that final decision.
But
I want us to talk a bit
more. The fact is Moses was sent there.
And he has not.
To put the memorial and to put up a remembrance thing. And remember, our Kikuyu nation, we can forgive, but we don't forget.
Okay.
We're just challenging Moses. Why is it so hard for you to get the deputy president to go to that same venue, even if they were not involved? Out of this godliness which they appear in all these churches, why is it so difficult to go to that specific area which was the bone of contention, which was the cause of the conflict of the 2007, where they burnt women and children alive?
You have made your point, David Murathe. You've made your point.
Okay.
On that note, to take a quick break, we come back. A couple of things said at the NDC today, which David Murathe in the past has spoken of. For example, when the deputy president this weekend speaks about being mistreated and treatment in Jubilee Party, David Murathe said a couple of things in 2017 that seem to have come true. We want to understand exactly what's been happening behind the scenes that's made the deputy president today to be crowned as the presidential candidate for UDA and not Jubilee. We come back with that. You're watching Newsnight. Stay with us.